Gentlemates will win champs. Okay, I'm gonna put it right now.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
Screw the
okay, okay,
matchup.
okay,
Like,
okay. Welcome to the Chalk Talk Show, your Call of Duty show for pure punditry. Expect no expertise. We're here to give you the unfiltered reaction of your everyday CDL fan. No bias, trust me. I'm your host Dino Neal, and I'm joined with my co-hosts, starting with Orion. How you doing? How you doing today?
I'm great, man. We just had the opening weekend of the CDL. I'm in heaven. There's only one of these a year.
So, since this is our pilot episode, can you give me like a rundown of your history with Call of Duty and as well as when you started watching COD as an esport? Just for the fans out there or the new viewers out there.
Absolutely. So, played Call of Duty in my childhood. Left to go PC game on this little thing called Minecraft in like middle school, and I left Call of Duty alone until basically I graduated university when one of my roommates was playing Black Ops 4 ranked play, and I thought it looked really cool. So I picked it up then, and I got really into the competitive side of things, playing a lot of ranked. I watched Call of Duty competitive for the first time that year in Black Ops 4. So 5v5 is what I was introduced to Call of Duty with. And then I was playing from Modern Warfare 2019 through to Cold War in a pretty serious fashion in Challengers. Had something to do while COVID was happening. And then from there, I've just been a big fan watching every year. I go to the Toronto Major every year. It's a great time. So that's where I'm at as a fan and as an enjoyer of COD competitive.
It's kind of funny when I think about it because even though you've had so much time playing Call of Duty or just have been around Call of Duty for a bit, you're a fairly new person to the Call of Duty esports. You said BO4, but there's a rich history of Call of Duty before that. But you are here kind of a bit more recently, right?
Exactly, yeah. So for me, this game, Black Ops 7, is what I would consider my first advanced movement game because I haven't really ever played something with a wall bounce like Black Ops 3, definitely not something like Advanced Warfare. So for me, this is all really new with the new movement techniques and everything with it. So it's kind of an interesting experience, and I feel like I don't have a lot of the historic baggage that comes with being a longtime fan of the scene.
Now, talking about newer fans, we're also joined by my other co-host, Davey. How are you doing? Can you talk to me about yourself and your history with Call of Duty as well?
Yeah, what's going on, Dino? You opened the show up with "expect no expertise," and that phrase is going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting for me here. No, but I've been playing Call of Duty for a very long time. I started out going to my buddy's house. He had the original Modern Warfare 2, played some of that. The first game I owned was Modern Warfare 3 back in the day, and then growing up, I've played basically every single Call of Duty that's come out since then. I think the only one I never spawned into the multiplayer for was Infinite Warfare. But I was back in the day. I was very Vanoss pilled, running around with pump action shotguns in every game, doing ninja diffuses and SND, just having fun, being super casual with everything. And then when I got to high school, and it was at the end of the kind of advanced movement days, that's when I got into PC gaming. Had the PUBG phase, the Fortnite phase, and then when Overwatch came out, it was done. I played that for years and years and years. Then I played Marvel Rivals for a little bit when that came out later on, but I didn't get a lot more into Call of Duty until the Cold War season. I started exercising around then. I would be on the elliptical for like 30 minutes to an hour every day, and I needed something to watch. So it just so happened that was when Cold War Super Week was on, when a bunch of players lost internet because of a Texas storm, and they had to catch up on matches. So they just had matches every week, and I started watching in Cold War because of that. Started playing a little bit more seriously then too. And when I say seriously, I mean ranked. I'm not good enough to play in any events or anything like that. Just I can be an above average ranked player, and I started that in Cold War, and that's where I am now. And I'm having a great time with Black Ops 7.
Now you bring a great perspective, I think, in my opinion, in which you did not try to go to compete or anything to that serious level. So you come into this with like a pure, just unbiased fan perspective, which I think is kind of refreshing sometimes when it comes to some of these discourses, because a lot of these discussions surrounding CDL usually are dictated by former pro players, actual pro players, or even just competing tier 2, tier 3 challengers players. So let's
Exactly. Oh,
no, go on, go on.
No, exactly. I would have loved to go pro in a game, but it's just I'm more of a all brain, no aim kind of player in the games I play, and professional play was just not really in the cards for me. So I had to step back and be more of a fan. And from following other genres like very closely, I followed hero shooters for a long time, and I'm very familiar with those. I'm more versed in just esports in general and the scene than maybe people who only watch Call of Duty. So yeah, I'm excited about this.
Yeah, for sure. You always carry me in Overwatch. But we're not talking about Overwatch right now. That's apparently dead, according to most people. Let's talk about Call of Duty. Okay, let's start with day one. Yeah, day one, week one. We had some great matches. We had meh match. We had Falcons versus Optic coming in. Let's get right into them. Now, let's build the context here. Optic, back to back. They had the Messiah in Merc with them. They're the team with the strongest foundation right now versus Falcons. Falcons. Now, they have formerly great pieces, maybe great pieces potentially, but right now the Falcons just seem super disjointed. I'm going to be straight. The match was just hard to watch. It was just complete domination from Optic Texas. It was awful to watch. Unless you're an Optic fan, but I digress. Gutty, or Orion, let's get into it. What did you think of that first match off the rip?
I'm not gonna lie. I think this was just a slamming. There's no way to put it other than that. And I'm not gonna lie. I think I have a bold prediction. It's the start of the year. This is the best time to really just throw stuff out there. But I fully feel in my soul that this is gonna come true. That the Falcons is a .5 team. They're gonna have a 50% win rate on the dot all year long. They are just coin flip the team. And I think we saw this with the matches later in the weekend,
Yeah.
but I think it's going to be hysterical because they're going to 3-0 like LA Thieves or some other team in that caliber at some point on a LAN, and it is just going to be monumental.
Davey, how about you? Did you manage to catch this one?
I did. This was, it was the first match of the season, so I had the stream on. I don't really know if there was a whole lot to glean from this one. I mean, Optic was just more put together. I think their players are better. It was just kind of a blasting from Optic. I don't really know how much I have to say on this one, to be honest. Optic just destroyed them.
I will say, like, the funny thing is that you can see moments where the Falcons are trying to put something together. It's a complete different look to what the roster was last year, even when they made a big change to bring in Pred and other players, and like TJ Halley in EWC, where you can see their map movements. They were running rotations at times, and they had people popping 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Xnid and Pred at times were actually showing some firepower, but the scoreline just shows that they have some fundamental issues, and I don't know, it might be too soon to say, but I think the Xnid project needs to be cut. This is the same strategy that Falcons do in every esport. They're going to run this till the very end of the season, and they need to stop that right now if they want to not tarnish the legacies of some of these players like Celium and Pred.
Okay, hold on. I think Xnid is just better than Pred right now. Full stop.
Okay.
I think he is.
All right, here we go.
Genuinely. Like he has some good mechanics, and this is a very mechanics heavy game. Like I'm not worried about Xnid at all in this, to be honest. This is a head smash game. Like think about oh my goodness, I'm so bad at the map names, but like the kind of castle one with the dojo and everything.
Den.
That hard point there with like at the mid connector. I think that is just a head smash hill, and that's exactly what happens every time. Xnid comes in, gets a triple kill, and suddenly the Falcons are in the point. Like he's got some moves, I think.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
We saw that a bit more in their later match, which we can talk about later. But this series specifically, Xnid did not do good. And yeah, he can shoot. But he is not being developed well enough to actually be consistent with that. And you saw this in this match as a result. He was not doing his job, not putting numbers, and they got blasted as a result. David, you're about to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I have a take about Falcons more broadly that I think I'll share in a later segment here. But you speak about Exton not being developed yet, and I mean, if you see the team he was on last year, like just made up of, first it was that full Saudi Arabian team, and then they picked up some scraps like Priesta and Arcides, and I think this year with
Damn, I even forgot they're on that.
hopefully
Anyway.
a more hopefully with a more solid core around him from the start, hopefully he'll be able to put something together. And also, can we talk about Celium's innovative glasses technique with the headband and the tape that he puts on his glasses to keep him up?
He's leveling up, man. He's getting a new aesthetic, a new vibe. It's gonna take him to the next level.
I agree.
It's like when those gamer sleeves got super popular in Valorant. Get Pulsar on the phone. Anyway, I think we've talked enough about that match. Let's briefly touch on Breach and Carolina. Orion, you and I discussed this just a tiny bit, but okay. This Ravens team, I'm literally wearing a Ravens shirt right now, but anyway, this Ravens team does not give me much hope. This was not a good match. This was the meh match of the day. Boston outclassed them. Let's move on from that. Boston outclassed them. Let's talk Slasher. Slasher teams. Why is it not working anymore? Orion.
Listen, Slasher. Oh man, can I curse on this show?
Yeah,
I
go
guess
for
let's
it.
get that-
No, go for it.
All right. Slasher is fucking dookie, bro. That guy is bad. I don't know why in Call of Duty we have misconstrued this idea that a veteran player means he's going to be like the IGL, like mind controlling all of these challengers talents to win a game. Like I just don't understand the concept. In my eyes, a veteran player is someone you just slot into the team and you don't have to worry about him. Like isn't that what Slasher is? You just put him in a team and it's like, yeah, we got an AR, it's Slasher, he does his job. Let's get some other interesting pieces on the team. Like why are we pretending this guy is like a mastermind genius that's going to mind control everyone into like winning a game? Like, and that's the thing. Carolina Royal Ravens are not going to win games. Yeah, they'll win a map, but they're not going to win a series. Like this team is on the level of Modern Warfare 3 Boston Breach. They're on the level of Paris Legion and Vanguard. They are trash, bro.
All right. So, I'm someone who has been watching COD Comp since BO2. I come in with the purest view. I come in with the old head view. I've stood up for all my veteran players, your attaches, your slashers, your accuracies. But honestly, I think now's the time we say goodbye to the MLG era players. To me, I thought about this while I was at the gym. To me, this Ravens team is just Temu version of Vanguard Surge. You have your slow style player with accuracy in Slasher. You have your journeyman with Nero and Mac, and then you have your two shooters. I feel bad for the two shooters right now, to be completely honest.
Wait,
no,
who was on? Wait, was Nero on Vanguard Surge?
No,
I didn't think he was.
Mac. It was Mac.
Mac,
Oh, right,
yeah,
because Sib Pred Accuracy Mac was that team, right?
Yep. Actually, that was Sib and Preb's rookie year for Vanguard.
Yeah, right.
Same
Sib
idea
already
here,
had a ring though.
Previous and Lurks.
Sib already had a ring though. Don't worry. Don't forget about that.
All right. The Cold War ring.
Exactly.
That's so
Yeah.
dumb, dude.
I think for Carolina's first match of the season, I think Boston is underrated. I rate Nasty pretty highly. Snoopy has improved from starting in a pretty poor looking spot in whichever year he had his first full season in. One thing I think,
or no, MW2,
right,
just when he came in at the very end of the
Yeah,
year.
right.
for
Sorry,
champs.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I heard somewhere that Slasher was never the kind of player that enjoyed kind of playing with rookies and bringing them up and showing them the ropes. That was never like his thing. So I think this team isn't necessarily as bad as they showed. One thing I have a theory. I think if you just swapped out Slasher for the main AR like Vanguard version of Attach, I think that would be interesting to see.
Yeah, like at least then we have something, right? Like some sort of upside for this team. Because that's honestly my thing, Davey, is like, what if you're a fan of the Royal Ravens, what is the upside of this team? Like, what's your angle of like, yeah, the Ravens, they're gonna win this series. Who's gonna pop off? Like, how do they actually win?
Look, I'm gonna give
near-
Ravens till and a major one because I do see the merit in having Slasher um, guide the newer players, but he needs to up the pace to keep up with it. That's the only way I think I see them doing well.
Yeah, I mean, no disagreements there. I
Nope.
just don't think a slow play style is really going to work in this game.
Now, real quick about Boston, I feel like they've made the safe choices in the past like 2-3 seasons. They've kept this core with Snoopy, Purge, and Cammy, switching out Awakening for Nasty, but they've stuck to their Snoopy project since MW2, like you mentioned, and it was the safe bet to make, like not big risks, and as a result, it got them like what was it, top 3 in champs, and I think honestly, this is gonna be their ceiling because they're playing safe. Boston are gonna become a good 4-3 team at most, but I don't think they're ever gonna really advance past that. I don't know. That's just me. I think the change to Nasty is good. It's an upgrade over Awakening, but it's not gonna get them anywhere farther.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if they have the firepower to, when it just comes down to both teams playing well on a Sunday. Their strategies are working out. They're playing like they do in scrims. I just don't know if Boston has the firepower to keep up with some of the better teams.
I'm a bit of a Boston believer right now. This is my hopium team right now. Like, if this team can win a tournament, that would be so awesome for me. Because to me, it would solidify that, like, the middle of the pack teams this year are actually good teams. And this is a general vibe that I have for this year is I feel like in the middle of the pack, a lot of these squads, like, kind of everyone can beat each other on a given day. So I would love to see one of these teams in the middle of the pack, whether it be Boston Breach, whether it be, like a Miami Heretics. I would love to see one of them, like, reach for that ceiling and win a major. That would be so special for the year, I think.
I will agree with you that I am on the Purge train. I've told you this before that the moment I saw that guy walking into the Toronto Major, wearing a pure white turtleneck, I knew he had aura. Now let's move on to the next match. LA Thieves versus FaZe Vegas, the new rivalry. The Tiny Terrors now split, facing off first day of CDL. David, tell me what you saw. Tell me what you think.
Thieves were popping off in this hard point
It was a
at the
close
start.
match, though.
It ended up being close, but FaZe were off to a pretty slow start from what I remember. Simp and Abizi both dropped 30 in this match, or
Yeah,
in
they
this
were going
map.
crazy.
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were
no,
playing like they had
absolute-
something to prove, both of them.
Absolute cinema. This is where I want to talk like a little bit more about the map, especially because for this first week of matches, like I don't know how much I want to gather from the teams. We've only seen one, maybe two, rounds on each map. That P2 on Den looks miserable to break. Because if you're coming at it from the roofs, it's like some early Rainbow Six Siege stuff where like it's so dark in there I can't like see anyone. And if you try to come from the close spawn and go up those stairs, it seems awful. It doesn't seem like something I don't envy
really
the job of people who have to
utility
break
city.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a brutal hill. It's so mixy too. I think that's actually maybe the only hill in the game, or at least one of very few, where there's more than 4 Dravix on the map. Like you will see the flex players actually whip out the submachine gun for this hill because it is so mixy in there. And sometimes we're just seeing 1 AR in each team. And to be honest, that is a huge problem for this FaZe Vegas squad because Draza is a huge liability.
Oh my
And
god, he
I've
has
kind
not
of-
been playing well for a
No.
few months now.
Like, I've kind of defended him in the past. I thought he was a pretty good flex. I wasn't completely mind blown, but I thought he was like a solid, like, top tier player. But these last 2 games, he's just not looked like himself. I don't know what happened, but
That's a good
this
challenge,
guy,
yeah.
like, from the eye test, he just doesn't have it right now. It's like everything is just wrong subtly. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like it's not hitting. I don't
Yeah.
know how to say it other than that.
Yeah, you expect Draza to be like that damage dealer, that presence on the map that's aggressive with the AR. He dropped 6,000 damage in the entire series. That's 1,000 less from the next person. So there's clearly issues, and we saw this at the start of last year as well, where Draza was struggling, and they can't afford that this time. They do not have the trio. They can't afford to have games like this. Now, it was close matches. the hard point, the search and destroy, the overload. We'll talk about the overload specifically a bit later on. But let's get right into the narratives. The head-to-head between Simp and aBeZy. Who is gonna take it this year? Davey, you start off. Your prediction.
aBeZy.
aBeZy. Okay. Are you on the wavelength that aBeZy is the better player than Simp, like some pros have been saying?
I don't know if aBeZy is better than Simp. I think it's just more a function that I think this Thieves team has a higher ceiling than the FaZe team.
Okay, fair enough.
I just like the roster more. The one question mark is Kenny, if he can like really put it back together after that tough season he had last year. But I mean, other than that, I just believe in this. I'm looking at the FaZe players. Drazah. I think Drazah's decision making. We'll talk about the overload, like you said, but his decision making, I think, is really harming his personal play. I don't know if Simp is going to have the same chemistry with 04 as he did with aBeZy, and I think with Hydra, Scrap, Kenny, if Kenny puts it back together, that team is ultra stacked, and it's going to be hard to compete with.
No, that's fair. All right, how about you? Who's taking the head-to-head this year?
This year specifically?
Yeah.
Ooh. It's hard to rate them. I totally agree with Davey that the LA Thieves just on paper look really, really good with the roster, right? Like Scrap and Hydra can never go wrong with that duo, I feel. So I tend to lean more on the aBeZy side more, but I gotta give Simp his flowers here, man. Like he was putting on a clinic in this series. Like he was hard carrying FaZe. I feel like they would have gotten 100-point clubbed if not for his performance in the map 1. Like he was seriously on that. I think it's the P4 of like that outer railings hill on that first map.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he just solo held like 2 full waves of the LA Thieves at one point. Like he just got 4 dead, or like was part of the 4 dead, getting a 2 or 3 piece, then did it again, pretty much solo on the hill, and just like kept them in the game. So unreal performance out of him. I'm glad that he's finally getting some respect from the community too, because to be honest, he's been heavily disrespected as a player, I think, lately. Like he is still that guy.
Yeah. For sure. No, yeah, those were crazy matches, and the absolute explosive matchup between these two. I hope it's going to be like that throughout the rest of the year. Let's move on to day 2, starting off with our boys Toronto Koi versus Miami Heretics, the Spanish rivalry, going deeper than the players themselves at this point, honestly. But, okay. Toronto brought a 3-2. I predicted them a 3-1 at least. This match was a lot closer than I thought it'd be, and you wouldn't expect that, in my opinion. The thing that scares me as a Toronto fan is that at the start of every year, Toronto always look good because they have a high floor. But I'm scared that this match kind of shows what their best is. I don't know. That's just like my instinctual reaction. Like, you have great pieces, but I feel like they should have been taking this a lot more confidently. What do you think? What do you think, Ryan?
I don't know. That first hard point, like Miami Heretics just didn't wake up. I think Trakes, I think I've got his name right with that. I think he just had like game 1 jitters, because in the rest of the series he looked completely fine.
Sure.
It was just that very first map that he really had a stinker.
Yeah.
So I'm actually pretty high on him as a player. I don't think he's going to be a superstar breakout rookie of the year per se, but I think he's like a solid player that could complement the Heretics well. But I do agree that I don't know what the hell happened to Koi here, and also getting 8-0'd in Overload. Like, come on, man! I know it's the start of the year. I
They
know
like
it's a new
100-point
game
club
mode.
and they 8-0'd. That's what I mean. Like they're 100-point clubbing and they're 8-0ing, but it's still going to game 5, which to me says they're either playing off host advantage because they're the only Toronto-based people all the way. They're not playing Texas and playing that host game, or they're playing heavily into their map pool right now, which means facing another team with better map pool on LAN. I'm scared. I'm actually scared. I don't know. Talk to me, guys.
Yeah, it's really hard to say for me because they were either dominating or it was very close. There wasn't really like a, somewhat dominating or like, showing they're better. They were either absolutely slamming or it was very, very closely contested. And it's, after one matchup, it's hard to say whether that comes from Miami just being the inferior team, or if Toronto is just making some critical mistakes that are really exposing them early on in the season. I think I do feel good about this team because I think they're a better roster than they were last year.
Which one,
I just
Toronto?
fear, yeah, Toronto.
Okay.
They're a better roster than they were last year. I don't know if Insight is going to be able to pick up the pace. He's been notoriously slow, and so I don't know if this game is going to suit him. But I mean, if they put the pieces together, they figure out some mistakes as they will as the season goes along. I think they're a talented enough team that you're going to be able to win a lot of ones in this really fast-paced game, and I think they're going to be able to be a team that competes on Sundays, like a little bit above some of the more middle of the pack guys.
To be fair, Jamie did show the propensity this match to be moving. He did drop like 1.58 overall. Of course, we're not getting into the details about the actual maps and whatever, but like it's always the same discussion. At the start of the year they look good. At the start of the year you're like, Jamie's playing fast, let's get it. But then later in the year, like, do you think that they can maintain this pace now that they have someone like Real? That's like my big question now, because we've seen the same story every single time with this Kleenex Inside duo. Can they keep the pace with Kleenex on a flex now? Can they keep the pace with a faster Real in here? I don't know. If you have any thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think last year they looked as strong out the gate as they usually have. I think last year, like just in general, they looked weaker than they consistently had. They've always been a very consistently kind of like top 3, top 4 team, and I don't think last year they were that. But this org has really shown their ability to like bring in new players and have them adopt to their super chill comms, like almost like nothing's happening kind of a style of communicating. And it looks like Real and Joe DeCeves have really, really taken to that. And because of that, I think they just, with more talent than last year, I think they're going to make some finals, and I think they're going to be better than the middle of the pack.
Here's a fun
have faith.
hypothetical.
Honestly,
Oh, yeah,
last
go on,
year,
go
I have to say, last year, like their year just got chalked with the whole Beans incident. Like they had an industry plant come in and just ruin their team, right? Like genuinely, like Mercules
yeah,
just
wait.
comes in out of nowhere, looks like the best player in the game as this random challengers pick up in an emergency situation, destroys their confidence with Beans, right? Like Beans was the best S&D player on this team, 1v4ing maps for them on that dealership map, the one with the cars that was added late season. Like they were actually looking solid. They had a bit of a bummer major, but like they looked like they were on a heater, and then that whole situation happens. Like I think Real is really good. I think that, to be honest, he was as big of an impact player as someone like Rencor was
Yeah.
last year. So I'm pretty hyped about this Koi squad. Like for me, the big question, to be honest, is like can the players like find a sort of pattern? Because something I fear is when you have like a super long-term duo like Kleenex and Insight both on the ARs now, you don't have them split up across the guns. So I wonder if like the vision between the ARs and the SMGs is going to be good. And I think they can figure it out.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I do have some concerns about like, Insight and Kleenex being off on like kind of their own little island just because they've been playing for so long together.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Like I said, on the other side, I do see it as I do like the increased pace by moving Kleenex to the flex. I think that's the one big silver lining with this roster being pretty much same but new. Let's move on to the next match. Honestly, this one I'll just take it from here because Gentlemates are my Hopium pick of the year. Gentlemates will win champs. Okay, I'm gonna put it right now.
Okay, hold on. Screw the match.
Okay. Let's talk about that later. I'm just gonna throw that one out there and leave it there. We're gonna bring it back. This match was so fast. I remember we were at the watch party, Orion, and quite honestly, it went so fast because we were just like yapping the whole time. Before you knew it, it was like done. Vancouver Surge do not look good, and they have a team just filled with rookies here. They have poor Legend out here being roasted by Envoy mid match, saying that doesn't know what he's doing at all. Like
Oh,
it does not
man.
look good for Surge right now. And their only shining sort of piece, right, is Gwyn, but I don't know if that's the piece you want to bet everything on. What do you guys think?
I do think the Gwyn choking narrative is played out. I do think that this last year in Black Ops 6, he proved himself at Champs for me to say that he's not a choker. Like, he was actually putting in work at Champs. He was really playing his heart out. Like, I felt like he proved himself in that series. And I know that his team really let him down and they didn't do well at all. But for me, seeing him be able to put up that kind of performance in an important moment, maybe the year's already blown up, maybe it means nothing, but I really like that. And I've always thought that, like, kind of the, optic curse, for lack of better words, or the optic hive really haunted him in a way that some players just get unlucky with. So I do think Gwyn is a good piece for Vancouver Surge. I do have to question though, like, Legend is getting roasted for a reason. That guy is lost. I don't know if he's on like inverted controls or something, but he is just not looking very good.
Real quick, can you use one data point with Champs to really disprove him being an onliner though? One event that proved it.
Yeah, but were the other lands so bad either? I honestly don't remember.
They
So
were
it's a
they
question
were
as much.
quite meh. Like he was clearly at times one of the worst performing players on his team.
Yeah, fair enough, but I don't know. I guess maybe just the fact that I like him as a player, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt here because I do think like he's been playing with veteran players for a while. Like he kind of is a veteran player at this point. He's been in the league for what, like 3 years now, right? Is this not year
I
three or
think this is
four?
his third. I think this is his third. I
He
think he
came in
started Modern Warfare 3.
MW3.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like he's a seasoned player now. I don't think he's necessarily a rookie or someone that like can't help develop a team, right? He played with guys that have been longtime vets and like really smart players, right? Like TJ Halley, in my opinion, say what you will about him as a player, but he's clearly an S&D like savant kind of player. And then also, if you are a fan of Slasher, like in theory, he learned how to play the game under Slasher, right? So I could see him like kind of being a person that can bring out more in rookies from being a recent rookie that's now kind of in a veteran role. Like, depending on his personality, I could see him actually becoming that.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before, but it will honestly depend on if he develops into that role. But aside from that, like, phew, I do not have much hopes for Surge. Let's move on. Gentlemen, it's played great. Envoy Supremacy.
I want to
Yeah,
say
go on.
something really
Go
quick.
quick.
I think Gwyn is potentially a really, really, really great player that we've yet to see on like a truly functional above average
Okay,
team.
okay, we got some Gwyn fans in the call here. All right,
I'm a
you know
fan
what?
of Gwyn. He's shown that he could do it. He's shown that he can have pop off moments, but we've only seen him on Ravens for 2 seasons, and now he just started a year on potentially the worst team in the league.
All right, all right. Look, I'm
Actually,
not
now that I
committed. I'm
think
not
about it-
committed to the onliner narrative, but we'll see what happens.
Put Gwyn on a functional team, on a good team, on a team that can maybe contend, and we're gonna see what he's really like. I have faith in that kid.
Yeah, honestly, Davey, now that you say it, he's had some skill vampires. He was playing with Clayster. He was playing with Slasher. Like that is some cursed roster work if I think back on it. So maybe this is just par for the course for him. It can't be worse than that.
Let's move on to the next match, which honestly was a lot closer than we thought it'd be. G2 Minnesota versus Cloud9. It went the distance, went game 5. All the maps were relatively close, especially the hard points. Those were bang outs. But Cloud9 and G2, they came in the Monster Invitational and placed pretty high, showed some pretty good play. My highlights actually are Mamba and Kremp on the G2 team. Also, it's good to see Skies putting a lot better work than he did last year. I will say that Cloud9 have some good experienced players, and I think this G2 versus Cloud9 sort of matchup is what's going to define our like mid-tier matchups. I don't know, that's how they seem to me.
What do you think, Davey? Do you think that G2 should have been this close with Cloud9? Because I think a lot of people hype him up.
Judging by how close or how well G2 played against Optic, I think this match probably shouldn't have been that close. But
Really?
if I'm being completely honest, I didn't watch a second of this match.
Okay,
I don't
that's
know
fair.
really
Fair.
much about Cloud9. It is a roster full of players that I think like are better than they show or better than they get treated. Like Vivid, I really like, and he seems to get dropped all the time. And on that Ravens. Wasn't he on Ravens last year and then he got dropped? Like I don't even know if he deserved. I
Honestly,
don't know
been
if he
on
should have been the
almost
fall
every
man for
single
that
team
team.
at this place, but
Yeah,
I
so
think
I
he's been
mean,
dropped literally every year he's played. At
yeah,
some
he has.
point.
He has. So I mean, Cloud9 is full of it's a roster full of people with something to prove, and G2 I think is sort of that, but I mean, Estriel's been in the league now for like 3 years, and he's not gotten dropped once. And you know, I don't know, I don't know. Like this match, like I guess on paper should be close, but then looking at how G2 played against Optic, I don't know if it should have been. I don't know.
No, no,
I'm
I
gonna say
get
it
that.
straight. I'm gonna say it straight. Cloud9 don't have a leader. They do not have a voice to lead them. This is why they're gonna fall apart. That's it.
I don't know. I think for me, this was a matchup that was like this is an S&D team versus a hardpoint team, so it was all about the overload. Because to be honest, like G2 just bodied them in the search and destroys. It was like 6-2, 6-1 or something like
Yeah,
that.
6-2,
And
6-1.
then yeah, yeah, and then Cloud9 was looking really good in the hard points. So this was like two very different teams going off against each other. And I think this is actually going to be like kind of a marquee matchup because these are
Okay.
basically two very stylistically different teams that are in the same kind of tier of teams, right? Like I don't know about you guys. I'm not putting either one of these as a favorite to win a tournament. Maybe a dark horse
Yeah, yeah,
and they have a really hot weekend, but like these are two
Mhm.
middle of the pack
yeah. That's
teams
yeah,
in
exactly. Middle
very
pack
different
matchup.
styles. And so I think this is actually going to be a good matchup in the future where like it's going to be about the overload. That's going to be a crazy swing game and we've seen that those can be so fun to watch when it's going down to the wire. So like I'm really interested to see how this develops to be honest. I think these guys are going to be fighting it out in like losers round 2 in all the majors and those are always cinema days on LAN. Like if you know, you know. They're so fun, man.
Yeah, I just hope they don't drop Vivid right away. Because as we know, every time a team drops Vivid, the team gets worse. All right, let's move on. Day three, shall we? Okay, so with day three, we had a bunch of great matches actually. Well, I don't know if you can call it the first one. We have Thieves versus Falcons, but they do surprise us. They do hit us with the look. We're gonna take the first hard point. We talked about Falcons earlier. I'm going to say that I think Falcons are just a bunch of hard point farmers. Anything else, they can't do anything because look, 06 in Overload, 1-5, 1-5 in Overload, 06 in Search and Destroy. Uh, this is another. I just do not, as you can clearly see, I do not enjoy watching Falcons. Someone,
I
please
just
save me.
I don't understand why they're so bad at search and destroy because this is supposed to be a team of really good search and destroy players. Wasn't Pred like
Falcons?
uh, yeah, it wasn't Pred in his rookie year like a search and destroy record holder or like some
He was
best in
a
the league
he
stat?
was, but he wasn't known coming in to be an S&D savant. He was known as just like a a firepower
Run at you
force.
SMG.
Yeah,
Yeah, like but feel like he did that in Search and Destroy to great effect. And at the start of Modern Warfare 2, he was also like that was his really good game mode was the Search and Destroy where he would like be running at you with a dead silence. So I feel like between him and Celium and Kismet, you should be pretty good at Search and Destroy. Maybe this is the team that just doesn't have a leader either because I feel like Celium is like, does anyone understand his comms like genuinely after
No.
all this time? No, not a chance. So maybe, they're just lacking a leader or someone is going to have to step up and they need to figure that out. In theory, I guess it could be someone like Pred, but apparently he's a nightmare in the practice room, right? Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was streaming at the start of this year and he was like just chit chatting about, having his 1v1 with Kenny about how he's reading him because he knows him as a player in the middle of their scrim. I'd be so tilted if I was hearing that, man. I'd be fuming. So I don't know. Maybe this Falcons team is just the vibe squad, right? Like they're just here to party.
I mean they have the bag for it, so
My understanding was that in like Kismet's always been the leader on the teams he was
yeah,
on.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think the person who has sort of that vocal presence is actually Kismet, but at this point, I don't know if the players around him are going to completely commit to that.
That's fair. And
Is
also Kismet's trying to do too much. He's
Yeah,
sniping and he's bomb
he is
carrying
for
and like
sure trying to
he's
do
got to
too
learn to
much.
delegate. He's got to delegate.
Like, his numbers don't look good in the past few matches, but if you watch him on the minimap and you watch what he's trying to do and set up for his team, he is trying to do way too much.
Is Xnid the main AR on this team?
No, he's the flex.
No, he's an SMG. Oh, is he
Sells
Yeah,
flex?
they
main.
switched him over to flex.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
But you do see Pred a lot with the AR up because of these maps. Because it's a lot of scar and exposure.
Maybe that's the problem. If because Cell's comms are so unintelligible, if he's the main AR and he's telling his subs like where they need to go slam, and he's acting as the UAV, but they can't understand him. maybe the subs just don't know where to go.
I don't know. I think it's more just of the pieces ain't fitting together.
I do
Yeah,
think though there is something there about playing in your second language. Now, to be fair, Xnit seems like he has quite good English from like his streams and everything. Like he seems like he's fluent in English.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much of it is like his second language, like how comfortable he really is with it. But I come from the League of Legends scene where Korean imports are notoriously bad in North American League of Legends because they're just so bad about communicating. And when it takes you that extra second to translate in your head something in the second language, like that really screws you over in a competitive setting in a fast-paced game, especially like Call of Duty. Like you cannot afford that half a second in like these bang out hard points. So I do think that's kind of an underrated thing, but from what I've seen, Xnit has the language skills to where even if he's kind of still having a little bit of that, I think it'll fade very soon. Like his English is clearly comfortable.
Yeah. Well, okay. To put a cap on this one, I think Falcons do have. I mean, they have 3 former world champions on there, so they have the ability to get to a high place. But I think they'll be
And
capped
Clay.
at around and Clay, and they'll get capped
3
around
more.
like 6th place, 5th place, or something like that.
Yeah, I think they're just a coin flip team, straight up. I think
Yeah, you
flip the
mentioned-
coin, that's the Falcons' outcome. Like they're either going to come out in the hard point against Thieves and they're going to win one and take it really close in the second because all their players are firing on all cylinders, or they're just tilted out of their minds, like just refusing to plant the bomb and search and destroy. So like just flip a coin. That's the Falcons you're going to get on the day. This is a .5, rock solid, fighting in the mud squad.
Yeah. All right. So for the next match, Paris Gentlemates versus FaZe Vegas. Vegas unfortunately take the 3-2, but you know what they say.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you know what they say.
Unfortunately.
It's always darkest before dawn. It's better for Gentlemates to lose now than later.
Pink
Obviously,
supremacy has been declared by FaZe Vegas.
Obviously,
Okay, in the
no
pink
bias, no
v
bias
pink
here.
matchup, they are the current undisputed champion.
let me hit you with this one, Davey. Let me hit you with this one. Are people rating Gentlemates too high? People,
No.
not saying me. So are people rating
No.
them too high? Because you got people
No.
rating them S tier alongside Optic, and they won the Kazan Invitational. So tell me, what'd you see from this match?
No, yeah, I mean, so I watched the first 3 maps of this match all the way through, and I mean, I think this team has. I think Gentlemen have a lot going for them. They have the Ghosty Envoy chemistry from last year going. They seem to really like each other. Neptune was in a lot of finals last year. He's a really good player. Sib, he has a ring. Don't forget about that. He's world champion. This,
Stop
you know,
it with
and
He wasn't even a pro when he got.
I mean,
Hey, he got another.
And-
Did he not? Oh no, I guess
you
not.
know.
no,
Sib's won an event or two when he was actually playing, and he's had a down year the last year or two. But I mean, before that, he was really good. So I
David
think
is
coming into
talking
this year,
about
he's underrated.
how Sib got a Cold War ring from being FaZe substitute.
Okay, true.
That's like saying
Yeah.
Pentagram is a world champion, dude. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, this team has pre-existing chemistry. This team is full of players that in recent years have been really, really hot. This team has players who have historically been good, but were maybe underrated coming into this year because they've been slow in the last year or two. I mean, I think this team, if anything, is underrated. I think this is like a
Really?
team that you could see in a lot of finals. Yeah, I think this is one of the better teams in the league.
I see. Any
I think
response?
Vegas
to that?
too is getting
And-
really disrespected. Oh, go ahead, Davey.
The last thing, I think stylistically for Envoy and Neptune, this game suits them really well. Just hit
I
everything.
agree. I totally agree. I think Envoy is kind of a sleeper player in these advanced.
Watch him
Nuna
on the
games, but
minimap.
not
He's making
flashy.
route man plays again. That's the big difference that I saw.
Yeah.
And he is clever about how he uses the movement too, even if it's not something really crazy or out there like you would see with Shotzi. But also, I gotta say, like, I don't know why this FaZe Vegas team is so disrespected, man. Like, I think it's just for some reason people don't think of Simp as like a genuine contender for the best SMG of all time in Call of Duty. Like, I don't get it. Like, this team has really good players. O4 is very rated by pro players, and in general, he's just like a very high impact player. He's kind of what Draza used to be honest. And to be that's the only thing that I think is a weakness on this FaZe team is Draza right now. Because Abuza, he kind of sucked in this series. I'm not gonna lie. And in the first series, you know, he was pretty bad. But Abuza always kind of sucks at the start of the year. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt because by Major 2 to Champs, like he is just in demon form. Like he's so good. So for me, this Vegas team, I think like even if they're just top 4 at the start of the year, I'm not discounting them at any single point.
I
I just
see.
I just
Yeah, go,
thought
go,
of
go,
this.
go.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just thought of this. This FaZe team reminds me quite a bit of the Toronto team from last year. You know, they went from having Scrap Envoy to, Beans and Joe Deceives, and on paper it's just like and then, the team is not actually that bad. Like they can still contend and they're still good, but it just the vibe check just going from what you had to what you have now is just it's a little jarring to get your head around.
That is a great comparison because Scrap, I mean, Toronto losing Scrap, me and Dino here are Toronto fans. Davey's a Toronto fan, I'm pretty sure. So,
Yep.
That one hurt our souls.
Going back to what you said about Simp being the go to SMG, I see that take. I take that take, and I say, I think Simp is being massively disrespected. Now, hear me out here. Here's the analogy. Simp came in as the prodigal son of Call of Duty back in BO4. I think he will become that again. He's been dropping the best numbers we've ever seen him put. If Simp is okay, here. Simp is simple. Hydra is ZywOo. Simp will come back and he will become the greatest Call of Duty player to touch the game. He will overtake everybody in front of him. Don't at me.
Is Hydra ZywOo because he's French? That seems a little racist
That
there.
and also how he came in.
Well, Counter
They got the
Strike
same
angle, I
names,
like
man.
it. I like it.
They got the same names. And look. That means Mercules is donk for now. Trust. He's gonna come back and take the crown. It always happens. It always happens.
Hercules is an industry plant.
And that's
all I
a
have to
great
say on the matter.
segue to the next match, Optic
Oh.
versus G2. Now, let's talk about this industry plant that is Mercules. We got hit with the Falcon special for G2 again. They took the hard point in very, very convincing fashion. It was a close game, but G2 kind of outplayed them. What did you guys manage to catch that first match at least?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about G2? Like, I think I mentioned this before, but I'm really, really high on Mamba. I said it in my Pickens video that Mamba's going to be a player that gets better as every match goes, and I think this is the perfect environment for him to have that set him up.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think in this match, or in this map specifically, I think G2 showed that they have a pretty good grasp of Scar Hardpoint so far. They were significantly outscoring Optic at the beginning of the map without really significantly outslaying. They were just managing to get a lot more impact from the kills they were getting on the map, and on top of that, Kremp and Mamba were kind of popping off. So I think that's what kind of propelled them to such a good map there.
Yeah, I think it is good to see G2 win a hard point, to be honest, because for me, I pin this team as like kind of an S&D team that's looking to like 2-3-5 you. But maybe their overload is going to be a map that they drop and they can actually steal some of these hard points against these really good hard point teams like Optic. I do think that G2 also loves the AR heavy meta right now. I think if we get to a point where it is more SMGs on the map or the SMG is stronger for whatever reason throughout the year, I think that they're going to start to have some problems, to be candid, because I think some of these players like Estriel, he puts up his numbers every time, and he is playing an SMG pretty much every time. But compare him to someone like Vivid or Abizi on an SMG and the sort of play style that they have, and I think as the game gets faster like that, I think it's going to become harder for him to get away with the things
Wait, wait,
that he
wait, wait! Don't
does.
sugarcoat it. Tell me exactly what you told me about Estrio a few days ago.
He's overrated, man. This guy? Okay, what he is he's Diet Hydra, and for me, Hydra is the most mechanically skilled player we've ever seen in Call of Duty.
Zywu?
He clears everyone, and it's not even close.
Like
Not
Zywu?
even close. And so, yeah, he's the most mechanically skilled player of all time, but his way of playing Call of Duty is terrible. That's why New York would always outslay by like 70 and win the hard point by 20, is because it's just a stat pad way of playing the game. And I don't think it's a very effective way to play the game, but he is the most mechanically skilled player in the world, so it doesn't matter. Then you translate this over to someone like Estriel, who, yeah, he's pretty good. He's putting up his numbers every map. But to be honest, I don't care. I don't care. Like, it does nothing. Who cares about this random double kill you get in connector on, like, exposure when the hard point is rotating? Like, I don't care, Estriel. So, to be honest, I'm not really that high on him. But I do think he has other good players around him. Like, for me, Kremp is looking unreal on this G2 team. I know it's not this series, but he's putting up like 50 bombs
Yeah.
in the hard point. Like, he's got some shooters on the squad to back him up.
Yeah, he was dropping 40s in the Monster Invitational, and I said it. I'm a bit more lukewarm on the take now, but Cramp right now, top 10 player, top 10 player,
Ooh.
top 10 player right now, this instant. That could change literally this weekend. So
Yeah, if anybody's an industry plant in this game, it's Estriel for sure. Like he came out of nowhere in what year, Modern Warfare 3, and he's just stuck around. But no, G2 is also, I think their comms definitely need some work. In such a fast-paced game, they get way too frantic, and you can't understand a thing, and that's gonna mess them up.
At least though, this is a middle of the pack team that can actually challenge like one
Yeah.
of the best teams in the game, right? Like this is a middle of the pack team
Yeah.
winning a map against Optic, who is just looking unreal right now, as well as play competitive games in the search and destroy. So at the very minimum, it's nice to see that our middle of the pack teams aren't just a pushover, right? Like you can't really be caught lacking if you're a top team right now.
it's like you said earlier, where they're gonna have some great matches amongst each other in like the day two of the major. This team does kind of have the propensity to make those underdog runs. Now we're talking about middle of the pack teams. Let's get a clearer idea of what we think actually are the middle of the pack teams, the low tier teams, and the best teams. Let's go into our too soon power rankings. Just throw them in the chat and we'll talk about them.
Okay, yeah,
We ran a
got
tier
it.
list. We put our tier list of what our tier list teams are. Let's start off with Orion first.
All right, so what I did is I have best in the game, worst in the game, and then A, B, C, and D. So with every team with three categories, you can think of it as left to right. Like it'd be like an
Okay.
A plus for LA Thieves, an A for FaZe, and an A minus for Gentlemates, for
Okay.
example. So I'm gonna go top to bottom here. Best in the game for me is still just clearly Optic. I think that they are
Yeah.
undisputed. They look bored at this point. I think that is their only weakness, is that they're just so disengaged right now that they might lose a map because they're just like barely even paying attention. But I think as soon as they lock in, they like
Yeah,
8-0 a team and overload.
You kinda saw
They
that in
100-point
G2
club 'em
match,
and
yeah.
hard point. Exactly, you got it. So I do think Optic is just still the best in the game. I don't really think any of these other teams are actually challenging them at this point. I think Major 1, unless someone levels up a lot or there's a crazy upset, Optic are looking pretty good to take it.
Right.
Coming in then at A plus as team number 2. Or sorry, do we want to pause between each one or just keep going?
You can just keep going, but yeah, just keep going with the next tier.
All right, shout if you want me to. If you want to, I'll stop. LATs, A plus. Like they are looking really good. The FaZe match, it was a 3-0, but it was a very close 3-0. Every single map was going down to the wire. It was overtime and overload, 6-4 in search. Like 40 points difference, if that, in the hard point. So I did very, very strongly consider putting FaZe Vegas. Sorry, that breaks my brain for some reason. I did really consider putting FaZe as A plus. The LA Thieves just took it by a little bit. I just think they're a little more complete. I think as soon as Hydra starts heating up, they're gonna start to be in like that S tier.
Okay. I think.
FaZe. Oh, yep.
What do you think is the main sort of difference maker between these three teams? Because you have a whole bunch in the same tier. I think. Tell me what separates the three.
Sure. So for LA, I think that they just have more complete players in every role. I think that every single one of the players on their team could be argued to be a top two or at very worst top three player in their role. So I think that they just by kind of default are winning on that front. And to be honest, I don't have a problem with their team chemistry or like an idea that they're not going to play well together. I think that the only question mark for them would be, can Hydra fit into a Kenny system? I was talking about how much I dislike his play style. It's because he's playing this kill Hori style. I wonder if that's going to work with a Kenny system. Estriel started looking terrible as soon as Kenny joined the team last year. I kind of have to question if that'll happen with Hydra, but I also think that he always sucks at the start of the game. I'm not actually concerned about that, so it's too early to tell either way.
Okay. Just so we can probably get this moving, let's jump over to B tier, and
Sure, sure.
let's-
So I'll
let's-
go very quick for
Yeah, yeah,
A,
yeah.
just for these last two.
For sure.
So for FaZe, they are very strong. I think they're very good. The only problem is Draza, bit of a liability.
Yeah.
If he can turn it around, I think that they're a clear contender.
Yeah.
Gentlemates, I think for me, everyone on this team has a lot to prove, which is going to give them a huge buff at the start of the year. But to be honest, I think Sib is going to fall off hard, and that's going to be when the challenge starts,
Ooh,
because
okay.
Sib
Let's keep our eye out
really
for
looks
that.
good at the start of the year, every year. So he was looking like an MVP in Black Ops 6. He's looking like an MVP right now. So we'll see. Now, top of the B tier, Rocker. This is a middle of the pack team, but they're a damn good one, leading the pack. Toronto Koi in the middle. I just feel like the Rocker players are a little bit better and like a little more in tune with each other right now. This could easily change in the future. Like the gap between these teams is very small. And then finally is Boston Breach. It really hurt me to put them last in the B tier because I'm a big fan of this team. I'm really rooting for them. And to be honest, I think this is the most competitive tier in the whole list. I think every single one of these teams, like it's a game of inches.
Now the question is, do you think any of these teams can actually win a major?
I think all three of these teams could easily win a major.
Oh.
I think also because I'm a Boston fan, I'm going to take a minute on them. I think that they are a super they're a really really good dark horse team. Like I think that their players are just built for this game. Like all four of them. And so I really think that they're going to be insane. Like watching the gameplay, I was questioning to myself. Sorry, I don't know why Purge. Yeah, his name was escaping me. I kept wanting to say Pred. I was honestly asking, watching Purge's POV, is this the best player in the game? Like he was looking cracked in that second series. He was so good that I'm really, really excited for this team. Like I think, like I say, they're gonna be in like a losers bracket round 3, 4, and someone's gonna upset in the winners, and then there's all of a sudden gonna be Optic in lower bracket, and then they're gonna get knocked out by Boston. Like I could very much so see that happening at Major One.
Okay, I'm on the Purge trade. Maybe it's not that great. Let's move on to your next tier. Let's go quickly through the C and the the D tier, and then you can roast your bottom pick right there for a little bit.
Yeah. So for the C tier, again, really close teams. I think they're pretty competitive with B tier.
Yeah.
I do think Cloud9, if they can figure it out in search, really good option. I do think I'm probably underrating Heretics because I've only seen one series and I don't know the challenger player that's been brought up this year, Trakes.
Yeah.
I think that Heretics could very easily end up in B or even A tier if they click. In D tier, Surge, like Legend is getting roasted, but honestly, there's a lot of problems with this team in general. I think it's just a little bit too raw on the challenger side. I think it's fine for them to bomb out of this first tournament of the year, and they probably will. I don't really expect anything from them, but I'm not that sad about them. Or I'm not that pessimistic about them for the future, I guess I'll say.
Outrageous.
But that's for the middle of the pack. Anything that you guys want to add for those middle of the pack ones on this part? Anything that you heavily disagree with?
No, because I think it's close to what I picked as mine. Maybe a few differences here, but I see your points. And you know what? We'll leave them as it is. I have nothing too big stands out for me. I don't know, Davey. How about you?
No, nothing crazy. I got some hotter takes of my own.
Bet.
But no, his list seemed very reasonable.
Okay.
All right. Well, let me just end it off here about our challengers tier team that we have in the CDL, like our Make a Wish team, if you will, because
Do
this
that, man.
Royal Ravens is
That's
like
crazy.
I'm genuinely insulted watching the gameplay. I would rather watch like Zuma casting some random ranked game or eights or something. I'm pretty sure the eights that I'm playing in random pickup servers are better than these teams, like those squads. Because this is just I wouldn't if you were to ask me what is the ceiling of this London Royal Ravens team, I would say top eight challengers. I think they're so bad. Like I
Hold up,
for,
hold up. Don't besmirch the name like that. You said London. Do not associate them with this shit Carolina.
Yeah, like this, come on. Carolina Royal Ravens, like, get together. Like, seriously, the fact that someone was paid to put this roster together is just criminal. Like, genuinely, a guy from Twitter could put a better team together than this. Most guys from Twitter could put a better team together than this. I think that there's at least four challenger teams that are better than this squad. I think that it's criminal that you would pick one of these, like, I don't know, mediocre challenger players over TJ Halley, a guy who every year is like overperforms, frankly. Like, can we just be honest? The last 4 years he's overperformed. I can't believe a guy like Nero, who can like drop 40 bombs on Optic in their prime form, is playing in challengers right now. I can't believe that Vivid was playing challengers for most of last year. Like, I know that people love to say pick up rookies from challengers, but like you can't just put three rookies and then a washed up veteran together and expect them to be mind controlled into a beautiful performance. Like, I don't care what you think of Slasher and his mind for the game. If he's got a great mind for the game, great. Go and coach Grandpa. Like, get off of the field, Unc. Like, I'm so sick of it, man. I hate watching this team. Like, I'm so offended that they're on the stream every time that they are.
All right, before you keep crashing out, let's move on to the next the next tier list. Davey, talk to me about your memes. I can already see with these tiers.
Yeah, so I've approached my tier list a little bit differently. It's very vibe based, but
Yeah.
there's some objectivity in there. So at the top, I have the good tier.
Yeah, okay.
In that tier, I have Optic and Gentlemates. If there was a major final today, these are the two teams that I expect would be in that final.
Bet.
They're very talented. They're playing well. They're winning maps. Play style suits them. I like these two teams.
Wait, what is this next tier? What the? I just realized.
Then in the next tier, I
Bro.
have / nonchalant motion / probably gonna fall off.
Oh, okay. That last slide
And I
makes it
have
better.
I have G2 in that team. It's okay. It's like you watch this team and they're off to a hot start. They're impressing me. They're going off. Mom is playing well. Kremp's going crazy. And they're playing higher than frankly I think they should be. So I could see Major One. I could definitely see them like making a Sunday at Major One. But as other teams start to figure out the game a little bit more and they get more practiced, I do not expect this team to stay in the form they're in. I think they're going to fall off. But right now, it's like fringe top 4 team. I don't know.
Okay.
In the next tier, I have the soon-to-be good FaZe Vegas branding sucks tier, and in that tier, I
Agreed.
have Thieves, Toronto Koi, and FaZe. These are teams that they should be top 4, top 5 teams. They will be making Sundays. Just got to iron out some of the kinks a little bit. FaZe has to rebrand, get rid of the pink, hire a graphic designer that's capable. FaZe already was black and red. In Vegas, the roulette tables are black and red. It's perfect. Why are they pink? I'm sorry. This
Really
is very
enough.
unrelated. Even just for that reason, they're being held out of the good tier. They're soon to be good for now because their branding is just so bad. But yeah, these are teams that have a lot of potential and will improve from where they are right now.
I was just gonna say, weirdly
mind the
enough,
logo.
your
It's
third
just
pick there,
color.
G2, they've adopted red and black for some reason. They don't even have purple on their branding anymore on their jerseys and in game. Anyway, go on.
Very strange pick, yeah. The next tier, we have the didn't do the research, not gonna lie tier.
Okay.
And in any miscellaneous order here, we have Miami, Boston, Cloud9, and Ravens. I'm not as big of a Ravens hater as Orion is. I don't think they're that bad. They will be like a bottom 3, bottom 4 team, but he's talking about them like they're Paris Legion in Vanguard. I don't think they're that bad. And we'll get into that with one of the later topics as well. But these are teams that are, I think, the middle of the pack teams. Probably won't make a Sunday. Miami and Boston might make a Sunday, but there's just so many more teams that have more firepower than them. It would have to be like just they would make a Sunday based on how the bracket plays out rather than the teams they have to beat to get there.
Okay. I can see.
The next tier I have the slow start but actually sleeper demons team, and that's the Riyadh Falcons. Celium, Pred, Kismet, coached by Clayster. That is 6 rings on that team. There is no chance in my mind that this team stays this bad. I think they have a leadership issue. Kismet's an IGL, but I don't really know if there's a leader. These are all guys that were really, really strong. What's the word? They were like powerhouse players for the teams they were on that were kind of led by someone else. So I think they have that to figure out, but the team is too talented to be a bottom dweller team.
Bro,
It's
you
too
said
talented. I don't buy it.
you said 6 rings on a team. Half of those rings are from your coach, dude. What's that gonna do for the
Yeah,
actual team?
bro. Listen. If the CDL implements the EWC rules where Clay gets to be in the server with them, like on the
Sure,
headset,
okay, sure.
that's gonna play in. Okay, it's gonna play in. And listen, it's better than having a coach with no rings. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I don't believe this team is a bottom dweller. Maybe mid, maybe can punch up. They're not a bottom dweller team in my mind. They're just in really bad form right now.
Okay. Now your last one.
And my final tier, I have the I'd start packing your bags now tier, and that is the Vancouver Surge. This team, for me, other than Gwyn, has no hope. I think possibly even before Major 1, I think this team is going to make a roster change. I don't know if they're going to win a match before they make a roster change. I'm going to be honest.
They look so
Legend
nervous,
looks,
man.
yeah. Again, Gwyn, I want to see you on a functional team. I hope Gwyn gets dropped or Gwyn leaves so he can go to a proper team. But yeah, this is Surge were on a roll for so long, and now they're right back to Cold War Surge that were just absolutely hopeless. I don't have much more to say. It's not a very good team. The way Orion feels about Ravens is how I feel about Surge right now.
They are pretty stinky. I'm not gonna lie. I'm rooting for Gwyn, but like they are dookie.
Yeah. Okay. Let's transition in mind then. I'm gonna take a bit differently to piggyback off that. I'm gonna start from the bottom. My bottom tier, which is why. What are you doing, basically? As you know, I am a generational Falcons hater. They are there to tarnish their legacies, and that's all I see. Enough said. Surge, there's no pieces here that gives me much hope. Maybe Gwyn. He gives me an ember of hope, but that ember is gonna die out just like the early days of humanity trying to cover this tiny flame while being attacked by fucking saber-toothed tigers. I don't see much there. Going up one more. Ravens, kind of same deal as Surge, except I have a little bit more faith in Slasher's early teams, despite all the shit that we said of him, about him and his teams today. Going up one more tier, New York and Heretics. I feel like there's like on this C tier where they're A and B. Like right now, they just seem like a team that needs work. They need to work. They could win some matches here and there. I don't expect much from them. Going up to the mid-pack teams. These teams are going to, like I said, provide cinema. Unfortunately, not many people are going to watch those matches unless it's the Vegas matches. I like G2. I think that later on, if they keep their roster, we might see them perform better, and that's very much reliant on Mamba, like I said. Next, Face Vegas. I know I'm talking about how Sim's going to be the GOAT, but this year's not his year to become the GOAT. It'll happen, just not now. like Orion said, Draza's a little bit not doing what he needs to, but there is a chance that they could see themselves in a grand final, see themselves possibly taking out one of the S tier teams. We kind of saw that earlier, but that's just the first day. Anyway, I do think Breach is better than them right now because they're taking the safe pick. I mentioned this before. They're taking the safe route, keeping this roster. They have good parts. Let it roll. Going up to A tier, Koi. Even though I am a Koi fan, right now, like I said, I'm worried. I'm just worried about them. I think they just need a little bit more consistency, and then they could overtake my next pick on the A tier, which is LA Thieves. LA Thieves right now, look, Kenny's on the cams laughing. And if you're not a Kenny fan, you should be scared because when that boy's laughing, that means something's going right. If it continues to go right for the rest of the year, we'll see. I think the only way they win champs this year is if Kenny picks up an SMG. Anyway, let's move on to S tier. This was hard because I have two people in S tier. I have Gentlemates in top 2. And they ain't 2. Gentlemates is my pick. Like I said, they're winning champs. You know why? Do you know why? Everybody's already talked about Optic, how good they are, how much Mercules is the messiah to Optic. But, Gentlemates, what is the major before champs? Tell me. What's the major before champs?
Paris.
Fucking Paris, run by Gentlemates. And historically, the team that wins the last major wins champs. Maybe not last year, but it's the power of French fans, dude. It's the power of French fans. Did you not see? Go on.
Half this team went out top 8 last year.
It's a different team. It's a different team. Completely different team.
Different year, different game.
Different year.
But it's the Black Ops sequel, baby. I ain't buying it.
Nope. You could MW3 to MW2 is completely different. Look, ship it. Gentlemates are going to win Paris, and then they will win champs. That's my tier list. Bam. See, a little bit of copium, but you know what? I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna stick
I don't
to
even think it is. I think it's a good take. I think of all the teams right now, I think they have one of the better chances of winning. I think you're right.
Yeah. I honestly don't hate it. Like, you know,
let's
trashing them a little
go.
bit. I'm trashing them a little bit, but like they're a solid team. Like all these players get a little bit disrespected just because of the kind of players that they are, or their history as players, right? But I do think that, like, you know, these are all really talented players. They're all players with like kind of a winning style of gameplay, I think. So I could see them performing very well throughout the year. But right now, for me, Optic is just like they have Merc. What more can I say, man? Like, the guy just has plot armor. Sorry, but it's not your year. He's making a legacy.
All I'm gonna say is that as a former diehard Optic gaming fan, let's make that distinction. Optic gaming fan, fucking dynasty follower here.
Optic LA fan?
Fuck that. Optic, when the good times are great, they're always followed up with the worst times. Now, we had a whole bunch of other debate topics planned, but just because we've had a lot of good discussion already, I'm going to put it to one. We're going to our section that I call Kill Trading. I'm going to bring up a topic, and then I'm going to assign either one of you to attack the topic or defend the topic. And today, we are talking about the Sniper 2 Life GA. Now, I know both of you have opinions on it. So, David, you are on attacking. You're going to tell me why you hate it. And Orion, you're going to tell me why it's needed for Call of Duty. Let's start with the attack.
The 2 life sniper rule is unbelievably stupid. As an esport, you need to move towards making it easier to watch. We already had attachment GAs. I remember in Vanguard there was a day where Shotzzy was running a muzzle or a grip on his MP40, and everyone was saying, you can't run that, and Shotzzy didn't know he was running it because he couldn't see it. It's a whole mess. Unless you have a rule coded into the game that doesn't allow you to run a sniper for more than 2 lives, then it makes the esport worse. It makes the esport worse because what if you've used it for 2 lives, but then you pick it up off of an enemy and then you get to use it a third round? What if at a champs final someone pulls it out for a third life and they say, "Oh, you used it as a third life," and he says, "Oh, it was an accident. I didn't know." It's so bad. It's so bad. And the whole sniper OP thing, get out of the game. It's so overblown. That's my argument.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to disagree about the piece of making it more spectator friendly. Because my question, honestly, is who's watching esports other than fucking nerds that are into the game? You know what I'm saying? Like, we can afford to let people be tapped in. I don't think we got to be scared of that. If they don't know, they don't know. They can watch the sick quick scope that comes out of it. Because you know what? I'm just so grateful that we actually have snipers. You know why we're hyping up Sib so much? It's because he's sniping everybody in Search and Destroy. He's quick scoping. He's literally playing like he's making YouTube videos, making some phase edits or something, bro. He's trying to quick scope Shotzzy, and he is doing it. He's like jumping off of power positions, off of head glitches to go for the quick scope on somebody. I don't care what you say. I need more snipers. And if I need 2 lives for it, I don't care. Because you know what? I do think it does add something strategically to the game as well. Because I think there's now a rock, paper, scissors of, yes, right now, everyone is just using their sniper on their first 2 lives as soon as they can. But I do think that's going to change because as the year progresses, the meta evolves. This is how competitive games work. If you've watched Counter-Strike, like which bomb sites and maps are attacker or defense sided changes tons over the years. Like Nuke used to be notoriously defense sided, then became super attacker focused. And it's just because if you play the maps enough, if you play these different with more variables, there's just a lot more depth to the game and the strategy. So I think that there's going to be a rock, paper, scissors that develops where people are pulling out snipers in later rounds to kind of catch teams off guard and get a pick that they're not expecting. So we not only get a more balanced sniper rifle in competitive, or a way to at least satisfy the people that are constantly crying about snipers being overpowered, even though clearly they're not. Like, anyone who says people are going to break out snipers and respawn, get a grip, bro. Like, seriously. So, I don't know. I think that it's nice to have snipers in competitive. The viewing experience is so much better already in this game because of it.
Here, let me throw this to you, Davey, since I just thought of the analogy. The snipers have brought in this interesting strategic economy of when do you use it? Are they using it? Do we use it now? Do we use it? Are they using it later? Which I think is very akin to ult economies from Overwatch. Now, you being a former Overwatch head, don't you think that's a good thing?
You see, my stance on it is that I agree with Orion. I think snipers being in the game is a good thing, and that's why I think they should be allowed all the time in Search. I think that's why they should be allowed all the time. In terms of alt economy, I don't think it's the same. I think here's what would be interesting, Kai, or
Okay.
Dino, sorry.
No, go for it.
I think instead of having the sniper be 2 lives, this would require work from the devs, but if you want to make it like an alt economy, what you do is you make the sniper a field upgrade that you have to charge by getting kills and winning rounds.
Or
Yeah,
even
we
a
ain't-
kill streak, now that we
We
think
ain't
about
seeing
it,
that
right?
till next year, though.
We're not seeing that, but if you want to, because that would be a way to limit the use of sniper in Search and Destroy, have it be hard coded into the game so it's easier to watch, and it would reward players for doing well instead of just arbitrarily having a weird rule that says you can only use it for 2 rounds, and then I don't know how many rounds they've used before. I have to rely on the casters to tell me, and if they don't tell me, then it's chalked. So I think if the devs wanted to do the work to limit the sniper use in S&D in one way or another, that would be cool. But the way it is right now, I think snipers should just be allowed in every round.
Okay, I can see the vision. I do think they're a little too overpowered to be in every round. That's my problem with it, is that I do think clearly in Search and Destroy specifically, and kind of just with some of the other GAs and rules in the game right now, I do think they're just a little bit too powerful. I do really wish that we had the Black Ops 4 no aim assist with the sniper rifle. I think that was just the perfect solution and everyone loved it, and then they just never brought it back. I don't really understand why. That would just solve everything, in my opinion. And then wouldn't even have to talk about this. It would just be, we get the snipers in competitive, and it's even cooler when Sib hits the quick scope. Like, it would just make it all right. It really would.
I don't
Yeah, go on. Go on, go on.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Maybe removing the aim assist would make it better. But I still think, even with aim assist, I think the sniper is overpowered thing is very overblown because the conversation around it is very dishonest. It feels like we're pretending that even with aim assist, players don't often miss shots. Not most of the time, but often players will miss shots with the sniper. Oftentimes, not oftentimes, but we can't pretend that if you pull out a sniper and then you get put in a 1v3 scenario and you have a certain amount of time to defuse safely and you have a sniper in a 1v3, let's not pretend like that's not a disadvantageous position. Like, there are still absolutely trade-offs you make when choosing a sniper over an AR. There are still chances that you miss a sniper shot even with aim assist, as we've seen in the opening weekend and in the Monster Invitational kickoff tournament, whatever. I think this whole sniper is overpowered thing is just very overblown.
I mean, I hear you, but my angle is just that the pistol is the problem. Because, like, I don't agree that the sniper is disadvantaged because I think the pistol is as good as a main AR or SMG in this game. Like, of course, yes, you're not going to beam someone across the map with a pistol. Maybe there will be one clip in the whole year. But I do think the pistol is just absurdly overpowered. They always are in Treyarch games. It's kind of their signature at this point, in my opinion. But the pistol is just broken, right? We're running no attachments with arguably the worst pistol in the game, and it's still broken. Like, it's so good. So I think that a sniper can very easily get one kill with his pistol by playing some closer angles like he's using an SMG, and then all of a sudden he's got whatever gun he's picked up, he's got a sniper rifle, and he's just taking over the game.
Well, honestly, it's the same thing with the rest of the community. We just can't come down to a consensus about it. Now, let me give you. How about this? The purist in me is saying we're not gonna be able to make these changes like on the devs or whatever. Let's just not have snipers.
No.
Okay, I couldn't commit to that. I couldn't commit to that one.
Just move along.
Okay, well, that's been the show. That was some great discussion, I think. You guys excited for the next few matches coming? It's going to be the last matches for this year, actually.
Wow. Looking forward to
Oh,
it.
really? This next weekend? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow,
and
fair
after
enough.
that, we're taking a break till January.
That's kind of killed my vibe as a COD fan. I'm not gonna lie. Give me some more games, folks. I should be logging on Christmas, ready to watch some 2Ks happening or something, man. Come on, I know you fiends never stop.
At the very least, we at least got the invitational and that sort of preseason stuff that we've never gotten before. But yeah, how are you guys feeling for the CDL season?
I feel good. I think there's a lot of parity, especially amongst the middle of the pack teams. I think a lot of them can punch up. It's not like we've seen in other seasons where it's just the top four and then everyone else is bad. So I'm looking forward to it. There's going to be a lot of upsets.
I think there will be a different major winner every single major this year,
That'd
and
be
I'm
cool.
so looking forward to it.
That'd be cool. That would be cool indeed. All right, let's end it off here. Thank you very much for listening. Now, any of you watching, do you agree with these takes? Let us know if we're faded. And finally, last of all, vive la France! Let's go, Genomates!